start waiting the year I understood silence. No sound behind my steps tonight, no voice ahead, no borrowed light. Every door I close now stays shut. I don't need what almost broke me up. No voice, no regrets, no second round. I move without leaving a sound. Nothing follows where I go, nothing I let others know. I made this road, I made it mine. I walk it without any sign. No sound behind me now, no reason, no need to bow. If I lose, I lose alone. Still I make this road my home. You see the silence is emptiness. You don't see the weight it holds in this. You hear nothing, that is the point. I was never meant to anoint. Cold reflections fill the rain. Every drop recalls the pain, but I let it wash away. I don't carry yesterday. Every step is one more proof. Silence is its own kind of truth. No sound behind me now, no reason, no need to bow. If I lose, I lose alone. Still I made this road my home. Some men shout to mark their passage through the places that they've been. Quiet men just leave a different kind of mark between the seams. The truth rings louder past midnight, when the restless fall to sleep. Every city I've walked through at 3 a.m. taught me things too real to keep. Every mile of dark behind me lives inside me like a threat. Every door I never knocked on is the path that I was led. There were nights I almost called someone, almost let the silence fall, almost said the words I'd saved for a door I never opened, for a hand I never raised. If I ever set it down, I might never lift it now. No sound behind me, that's the vow. No sound behind me now, no reason, no need to bow. If I lose, I lose alone. Still I make this road my home. No bar is almost empty now. He sits where the light grows thin, no name on the glass, no next of kin. Every night looks the same from here. Another city, another year. I don't stop, I keep it slow. I never ask where I'm supposed to go. No ties, no calls, no need to say I'm alone in motion every day. I don't look back for what I left. I carry what I carry in my chest. Alone in motion, step by step. No regret for what I left. If I fall, I won't show. I just keep walking slow. You see a man who holds his ground. You don't see the years without a sound. You see the suit, the careful face. You don't see what I had to erase. Cold air fills my chest at night. I outlive my doubts, that's the fight. No past to carry, no flame to keep. I'm alone in motion, dark and deep. Every corner knows my name. Every shadow plays the same. Alone in motion, step by step. No regret for what I left. If I fall, I won't show. I just keep walking slow. The night has always been the teacher of men who choose to stay. Every streetlight, every closed door taught me how to find my way. Some men wait for someone to explain them. Quiet men just walking to the rain. Every loss became a compass. Every wound became a guide. Every truth I swallowed whole helped me find somewhere to hide. There was a night I almost let it show. Almost said aloud the things I know, but I swallowed it, adjusted my coat, and moved on without a note. If I let it go, I lose the only ground I hold. Alone in motion in the cold. Alone in motion, step by step. No regret for what I left. If I fall, I won't show. I just keep walking slow. Still moving, no regret. Still moving, step by step. He walks in like the room already knows him. There's a shadow stitched inside him, fits him better than his skin. Every choice is deliberate, every exit discipline. I don't speak unless it matters. Words are heavier than stone. I've been careful with the truth since I learned to stand alone. There's a stillness in my posture, not because I'm at peace. It's just the posture of a man who learned that asking only bleeds. That's the man I learned to be, not the man I used to see. Every wound became the mold. That's the man I learned to hold. You think I'm cold, I'm not cold. I'm careful, there's a difference, oh. You think I'm distant, I'm not gone. I'm just a man who's been too long. You see the suit, you see the glass, you don't see what it took to last. You see the posture and the tone, you don't see the years alone. No one builds the man I am without the cost of all those years of doubt. Every scar became a teacher, every loss became a route. That's the man I learned to be, not the man I used to see. Every wound became the mold. That's the man I learned to hold. Every X became a Y. That's the only math I trust. Every loss became a lesson, every lie became disgust. Some men crumble under pressure, I just learned to hold the frame. Every broken piece inside me taught me how to forge my name. The night has always been the teacher. I enrolled a long time back. Every scar remains the teacher. None of them teach going back. Soft ones, a long time before. The world has its demands, that much is sure. So I traded all my wants for steady hands. Now I measure every feeling before I let it breathe. There's no room for hesitation in the life I choose to lead. If I feel too much, I lose, so I keep it underneath. That's the man I learned to be, not the man I used to see. Every wound became the mold. That's the man I learned to hold. I stopped explaining myself the year. It changed nothing. No stops, no detours, no return. No time to wait for what I earn. Every mile is paid in full. Every silence is a rule. I don't chase what disappears. I outlive my doubts and fears. No past, no need to explain. No reason to remain the same. I just move, I hold my line. Everything I care is mine. No borrowed peace, no second chance. I walk this road without a glance. I don't stop, I don't look back. I don't mourn what I lack. I just walk, I keep it slow. I go where I need to go. You see a man who doesn't bend. You don't see where the road will end. You see the pace, you see the calm. You don't see the steady storm. I don't run, I don't explode. I just walk my chosen road. Cold nights, empty bars, still feet. This is not what I call defeat. Every step is mine to keep. Every silence mine to sweep. No map behind me, no map ahead. Just the line between the living and the dead. I don't stop, I don't look back. I don't mourn what I lack. I just walk, I keep it slow. I go where I need to go. The night has always been the teacher of men who stay the course. Every empty block I've crossed alone became my only force. Some men need the crowd behind them. Quiet men walk into dark alone. Some men need to hear an answer. I found mine inside my bone. Every night that I've survived alone became the stone I built upon. Every mile walked in darkness is the language that goes on. Who needed things to know. He's still walking somewhere inside me, keeping it slow. I learned the art of not explaining long before I learned to feel. Turned every truth to silence, made every wound conceal. If I spoke, I'd come undone. So I just keep going one by one. I don't stop, I don't look back. I don't mourn what I lack. I just walk, I keep it slow. I go where I need to go. Slow steps, still walking. Slow steps, Everything he wears is chosen. Even how he holds his pain, every step is calculated. Every loss he can contain, there's a shadow stitched inside him. Fits him better than his skin. It's the only thing that knows him. It's the only thing that wins. I don't show what's underneath. I don't tell what's rearranged. I just walk within the lines of a life I cannot change. Tailored shadows, custom made for the man that I became. Every scar is well dressed, every truth politely tamed. You see the fabric, you see the fit. You don't see what's hidden in it. You see the posture and the chain. You don't see the weight of the refrain. I was soft once long before, but the world had its demands. So I traded all my wants for a pair of steady hands. Now I measure every feeling. There's no room for second guessing. Every shadow fits just right. Every darkness is a blessing. Tailored shadows, custom made for the man that I became. Every scar is well dressed, every truth politely tamed. Some men wear their pain like an open wound on every street. I keep mine stitched and pressed, invisible, discreet. The night has always known the man inside the suit I wear. Every quiet room I've entered knew exactly what I carry there. Every thread was pulled from something I chose not to let show. Every shadow on my shoulders is a place you'll never go. If I let it slip too far, I'd forget the man I am. Since control is the only way I stand, that's the plan. There were things I should have shown. There were hands I should have known. Now they linger in the shadow, tailored into what I've grown. If I ever shed the suit, I lose the only self I've sown. Tailored shadows, custom made for the man that I became. Every scar is well dressed, every truth politely tamed, custom made, still fitting, custom made, for me still. I don't break the way I used to. There's an elegance in stillness, there's a grace in saying less. Every glance is calculated, every movement slow and blessed. You can look into my silence, you won't find what you're searching for. I just make it look like living while I quietly close a door. I don't ask for your attention, I don't need your sympathy. I just wear composure daily, like the suit that carries me. Elegance in control, that's the mask I always hold. Nothing breaks where you can see. That's the only way I'm free. You might think I have it figured, you might think the calm is real, but there's nothing underneath this but the things I choose not to feel. I've been close to something honest, close enough to almost stay, but I saw what comes with closeness, so I turned and walked away. Now the quiet feels like safety, like a place I understand, where I don't have to explain why I became this kind of man. Elegance in control, that's the mask I always hold. Nothing breaks where you can see. That's the only way I'm free. The truth rings louder past midnight, when the restless fall asleep. Every glass I've raised alone has taught me things too true to keep. Some men perform their strength for others, quiet men just do the work. Every carefully held expression is the armor that I earn. Every composed and practiced silence is the language that I've learned. Too far, I'd forget the man I am again, since control is the There were doors I could have crossed. Now they sit inside the stillness. Elegance at any cost. If I ever lost composure, the whole architecture falls. Elegance in control, that's the mask I always hold. Nothing breaks where you can't see. That's the only way I'm free. Control, still standing. Control, still hold. Still. He sits at the edge of the conversation. He lives between the words he keeps. He lives between the hours he sleeps. Every answer is incomplete. Every truth is slightly bent. He's been living in the margins of a life that never went. Not in loud confessions, not in right or wrong. He just moves in quiet rhythm, somewhere all along. He don't need to be remembered. He don't need to be defined. He lives between the lines. That's where he belongs. Not in loud confessions, not in right or wrong. You'd look for him in crowded rooms. You'd find him in the quiet tunes. You'd call his name, he'd barely turn. He's learned that words come back to burn. There were chances he avoided. There were paths he didn't take. But he never looks behind him for reflection or mistake. Now the silence feels like meaning, like a language of its own. He understands it better than anything he's ever known. He lives between the lines. That's where he belongs. Not in loud confessions, not in right or wrong. If he stepped outside that space, he would lose his only place. Every unspoken sentence keeps a piece of what he saves. Some men need the validation. He just needs the quiet frame. Every margin, every shadow is the only address of his name. The truth is not a burden here. It's just the room he stays inside. Every line he lives between is the space he calls his guide. never said too much, he might lose his careful touch. There are things he keeps protected in a quiet, guarded space. Every silence is a boundary, every pause a form of grace. He was never made for answers, he was made to hold the weight. If he stepped out of his margins, he'd forget his only state. He lives between the lines, that's where he belongs. Not in loud confessions, not in right or wrong. Between the lines, still living. Between the lines, right there, still. I don't speak unless it changes something. Words are heavier than stone. I've been careful since I've known. There's a stillness in my posture, like I'm waiting but I'm not. I've just learned to hold the trigger on the things I never shot. I'm quiet like a loaded gun, safety on but never safe. Every silence holds a reason, every breath a hidden weight. I don't shout to make a point, I don't beg to be understood. Quiet like a loaded gun, safety on, still loaded still. If you knew what I was holding, you'd mistake me for the good. You see a man who doesn't flinch, you don't know the cost of every inch. You see the posture and the tone, you don't know the weight I've always known. Almost open, let the damage start to show. But I stitched it back together before anyone could know. Now I walk in steady motion, like I've nothing left to prove. But there's tension in the silence, in the way I never move. Quiet like a loaded gun, safety on, still loaded still. If you knew what I was holding, you'd mistake me for the good. Some men fire off their anger in the first few minutes of a fight. I've been holding mine for decades, sealed and quiet in the night. The truth rings louder past midnight, when the easy men give in. Every battle I've kept silent is a victory within. Every word I didn't fire of my heart. If I fought every thought, there'd be nothing left of me. Quiet like a loaded gun, that's the man I had to be. There were things I almost fired, words that almost left my throat, but I held them in the chamber, let them settle in my coat. If I ever pulled that trigger, everything I built falls through. Quiet like a loaded gun, safety on still, loaded still. If you knew what I was holding, you'd mistake me for the good. Still loaded, still quiet, still loaded, still holding, still, still. The glass sits half full on the table. Velvet lies and whiskey eyes, that's how he survives the night. Every truth he never told helps him keep his weight in sight. Smoke curls like forgotten dreams, dancing in the amber dark. Every sip just fuels the silence, burning quietly in his heart. Don't look too close, you'll see it, the calm he learned to fake. Every smile is a thin disguise, built from what he couldn't take. Velvet lies and whiskey eyes, that's the way he stays alive. Every mask is hand designed, every truth left far behind. Love was just a passing ghost, knocked once then swept away. He was never meant to keep what was always bound to stray. Now he wears this empty charm like a second skin at night. Let them think he figured out the chaos he keeps tight. Truth is just a dangerous game, better left without a name. Velvet lies and whiskey eyes keep him standing in the frame. Velvet lies and whiskey That's the way he stays alive. Every mask his hand designed, every truth left far behind. Some men tell the truth and lose everything they thought was theirs. He learned early that honesty just leads to broken chairs. Every lie is just a kind of protection, every mask a form of grace. Every sip of amber stillness helps him hold his private space. The night has always understood the man who don't explain. Every whiskey poured in silence is a sacrament to pain. If honesty could set him free, he's not sure it will. Every velvet lie he carries keeps him standing still. There were nights he almost cracked, almost showed the real below. But he poured another glass and let the moment go. If he ever told the truth aloud, everything becomes a crowd. Velvet lies and whiskey eyes, that's the way he stays alive. Every mask his hand designed, every truth left far behind. Lies still surviving, whiskey eyes still pouring, still. I stopped reacting the year. It stopped costing me something. No high, no low, just steady ground. No wave of feeling, not a sound. I don't chase the pain that calls, I don't run before it falls. There's a stillness I depend on, like a shield against the fall. If I ever start to feel it, I might lose control of all. Stillness over feeling, that's the trade I chose to make. Better numb than overwhelmed, better hold than wide awake. Stillness over feeling, every day the same exchange. Numb is not the same as broken. Stillness is how I remain. You see a man who never reacts. You don't know what it cost in the facts. You see the evenness, the steady face. You don't see the fire I replaced. There were times I wanted more. There were things I almost tried, but I measured all the outcomes and I let them pass me by. Now the silence feels familiar, like a voice I understand, and I follow where it leads me without needing any plan. Stillness over feeling, every day the same exchange. Numb is not the same as broken. Stillness is how I remain. Some men ride the highs and lows like a signal they can't lose. Quiet men maintain the line. That's the path they choose. Every feeling that I filter through a mind that doesn't bend became the quiet armor I will wear until the end. The night has always been the teacher of what stillness really means. Stillness over feeling, that's the life between the seams. If I ever feel too much, I lose my careful touch. Stillness over feeling is the only way I stand. There were nights I felt the ground shift beneath me in the dark, but I held until the morning, kept the stillness in my heart. If I ever break the quiet, there's no going back from that. Stillness over feeling, every day the same exchange. Numb is not the same as broken. Stillness is how I remain. Still numb, still standing, still numb, still whole, still. I carry something that has no name. You won't see it in my posture, you won't hear it in my tone, but there's something always present that I carry on my own. Every step is finally heavier than it seems from where you stand. There's a lifetime in the silence of a quiet, guarded man. like it's something I can keep. It's the weight I never show, the burden with no name. Every scar is well contained, every loss without a frame. You would hand it back to me if you held it for a moment. You'd put it down and walk away. I know better than to comment. There were times I almost dropped it, let it fall and let it break. But I tightened up my grip again, for my own sake. Now it feels like part of me, like it's always been this way. And I don't remember clearly when it started to decay. It's the weight I never show, the burden with no name. Every scar is well contained, every loss without a frame. Some men let the world see everything they're holding in the dark. Quiet men just shift the weight and keep on making marks. Every night I've been standing underneath this unnamed load, has become a kind of landmark in the silence of my road. The truth rings louder past midnight, the weight rings true as then. If I set it down, I might not ever pick it up again. I thought would help once, there were hands I thought I'd take, but the weight is mine alone to carry, every step for every say. If they saw what I was holding, it would break the image clean. It's the weight I never show, the burden with no name. Every scar is well contained, every loss without a frame. Carrying still, no name for it. Carrying still, always will still. Still. He counts his words like currency. I keep it quiet when it hurts, like I was trained to do from birth. Turn every question into space, every answer into blue. There's a rhythm in restraint that I learned to memorize, how to hold a steady gaze while there's chaos in my mind. I keep it quiet, that's the way every truth I choose to save, everything I never offer is a part of me I keep. I keep it quiet, that's the only way I breathe. Every truth I never offer is a part of me I keep. You see a man who stays composed, you don't see the things I've never showed. You see the quiet, the measured pace. You don't see what I had to erase. I don't need to be forgiven, I don't need to be undone. I just carry silent damage, like it's something I've become. There were nights I almost spoke, almost let the armor crack, but I swallowed every sentence, and I never did look back. I keep it quiet, that's the only way I breathe. Every truth I never offer is a part of me I keep. The night has always been the teacher of men who hold their peace. Every word I swallow down is added to the crease. Some men speak and feel relieved, quiet men just hold the line. Every sentence left unspoken is a boundary I designed. The only language I trust fully is the one that makes no sound. Every quiet I've maintained is the realest ground I've found. Someone inside, but I saw the weight of honesty and chose instead to hide. Now I move without resistance through a life I didn't plan, but I wear it like I meant it, like I've got nothing left to add. If I opened up too far, I wouldn't know where I am. I keep it quiet, and that's how I survive the program. Keep it quiet, that's the only way I breathe. Every truth I never offer is a part of me I keep. Still quiet, still keeping, still quiet, still here. Still. He pours without looking at the label. Drinks without a sound, like the glass is told on him. Every sip a small confession of the war he's living in. There's a calm he wears in public, like a suit he can't remove, but it tightens when he's alone with the things he doesn't prove. He don't ask for understanding, he don't wait for sympathy. He just drowns a little deeper in the man he had to be. He drinks without a sound, doesn't need to say a word. There's a lifetime in his silence that was never truly heard. There were nights he almost shattered. There were truths he almost faced, but he chose to stay composed, keep the damage in its place. Now the mirror shows a stranger that he somehow came to trust, because a man who hides his fractures learns to polish all his rust. Every night he pours it slow, lets the silence fill the space. There's a comfort in the numbness that he cannot replace. Oh, he drinks without a sound, doesn't need to say a word. There's a lifetime in his silence that was never truly heard. Some men raise their glass and make a toast to what they've lost aloud. He just lifts his and remembers every cost beneath the shroud. Every amber sip he takes in silence is a word he couldn't say. Every glass left on the counter is the truth from yesterday. The night has always known the language of the men who drink alone. Every sip without a sound is a sentence on its own. If the glass could speak his name, it would break before it lied. He drinks without a sound and slowly disappears inside. There were nights the glass was witness to the things he almost said, but he tilted it and let it take the words back to the dead. If he ever spoke while drinking, he might never stop at all. He drinks without a sound, doesn't need to say a word. There's a lifetime in his silence that was never truly heard. Pouring slow, no sound. Pouring slow, still here, still. Still. It doesn't crack in daylight. I don't react the way I used to. I don't raise my voice at all. There's a discipline in stillness and refusing just to fall. Every feeling gets filtered through a mind that doesn't bend. I've been building quiet armor that I'll wear until the end. Composed to the bone, that's the man I became. Every crack is reinforced, every loss without a name. Composed to the bone, every crack without a sound. I don't break in open daylight, I just hold the solid ground. You see a man who doesn't bend, you don't see the cost of every trend. You see the stillness and the tone, you don't see the weight I carry home. There were things I could have held on to, there were words I let go by. Now they linger in the background like a truth I can't deny. But I don't go back to fix it, I don't try to understand. There's a comfort in the distance from the boy that I began. Composed to the bone, every crack without a sound. I don't break in open daylight, I just hold the solid ground. Some men fall apart in private, so the world sees only strength. Quiet men stay composed in private too, at every length. Every moment that I've held it, when the world expected tears, has become the only armor I've been building for these years. The night has always been the witness when the discipline is real. Composed to the bone means nothing breaks, even what I feel. If I ever lose control, I lose everything I hold. Composed to the bone, and there's no undoing that. There were things that tried to crack me, I just straightened every line. If I let myself break open, everything I've built declines. Composed to the bone is not a feeling, it's the spine. Composed to the bone, every crack without a sound. I don't break in open daylight, I just hold the solid ground. Composed still to the bone, composed still, holding on still. He doesn't crack in daylight. broke inside and no one noticed. I haven't fallen for so long. No one noticed, not a sound. Kept my balance on the edge while the world kept spinning round. There's a difference in collapse when it happens deep within. You don't shatter into pieces, you just slowly cave in. There's no sound of falling when a man breaks inside. No one hears the warning, no one sees the divide. No sound of falling, just a man who learned to hide. No one hears the warning, no one sees the divide. You thought I was steady, I was. I learned the art of steadiness because you thought composure meant I had peace. It meant I learned to make the noise cease. I remember who I was, but I barely recognize the reflection in the glass, looking back through tired eyes. If I scream, it won't be heard, so I bury every word. There's no sound of falling, just the echo of what hurts. No sound of falling, just a man who learned to hide. No one hears the warning, no one sees the divide. Some men fall in public so the world can call them brave. Quiet men just fall alone, that's the only way they say. Every night I poured it slow, let the silence fill the space. There's a comfort in the numbness that I cannot replace. The truth rings louder past midnight for the men who fall alone. No sound of falling, that's the only thing I've known. Sound of falling when you've learned to fall in silence. The whole art is in the landing, the quiet compliance. There were nights the fall was total, every wall came down at once, but no one saw a single fracture, not for even just a month. If they heard how far I'd fallen, they'd have no frame for the height. No sound of falling, just a man who learned to hide. No one hears the warning, no one sees the divide. No sound, still standing. No sound. still here, still. He's already gone before you notice. He leaves without a sound, like he was never there. No goodbye, no explanation, no reason left to share. There's a pattern in his absence, in the way he disappears. Every exit is intentional, every step avoids the fear. He never stays long enough to build something close. He don't wait for it to matter, that's what he does most. He leaves without a sound, that's the way he moves. He just walks before the feeling has a chance to find the room. You'd think he'd stay this time, he won't, that's not his line. You'd think the warmth would hold him, he moves before he's told. There were places he could settle, there were people he could choose, but he saw what comes with staying, knew he'd have to lose. So he kept his distance steady, like a rule he can't ignore. And he made a home in leaving before there could be more. He leaves without a sound, that's the way he moves. He just walks before the feeling has a chance to find the room. Some men build a life in one place, and they learn to love the wait. He built a life in moving every town, a temporary state. The night has always known his face, in every city that he's passed, every empty room he's left in, knew he never meant to last. Every early exit that he's taken taught him something new. He leaves without a sound, because the staying's never true. If he stayed a little while, he might forget his style. He leaves without a sound and becomes the night again. There were hands he could have taken, there were roots he could have made, but he saw what comes with staying, and he let the moment fade. If he ever let himself arrive, He might not know how to survive. He leaves without a sound. That's the way he moves. He just walks before the feeling has a chance to find the room. Leaving now, no sound. Leaving now, gone again, still. He has the words, he just chooses which ones deserve air. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he knows that words have a way of making real every silence is a boundary, every pause a form of grace. There are things he keeps protected in a quiet, guarded space. He chooses not to speak. That's the way he holds his ground. There's a lifetime in his silence that will never make a sound. He chooses not to speak. No, not because he's lost the art, but because some things are safer kept inside a guarded heart. You can ask him what he's thinking, he'll just nod and look away. There are truths he doesn't offer, there are debts he doesn't pay. There were nights he almost opened, almost let someone inside, but he saw the weight of honesty and chose instead to hide. Now he walks a little colder, every step a careful line between what the world is giving and what's never by design. He chooses not to speak. Not because he's lost the art, but because some things are safer kept inside a guarded heart. Some men say the thing they feel and call it bravery and truth. He calls it something different. He learned silence in his youth. Every word he's held in custody has kept him whole and clean. Every sentence left unspoken is the only God unseen. The truth rings louder past midnight for the man who holds it in. He chooses not to speak. That's where meaning has always been. He chooses not to speak,
and that's how he survives.
And that's how he survives. There were nights the silence broke him. Not a soul saw that it did. He just held it longer, like the man he's always lived. If he let the words come fully, everything he is comes through. He chooses not to speak, not because he's lost the art, but because some things are safer kept inside a guarded heart. Still choosing
not to speak,
still choosing